Now, Kate, we got a big day ahead of us because, as you know, this is a big milestone today. Do you remember what it is?
Our 100th episode.
Absolutely. The 100th episode. And so we've got a special case that ties to that very, very, very loosely. I'm curious to see if and when you realize how. It's not exact.
I'm not...
Okay, it's not exact science. Okay, maybe we should have saved this for episode 189 if you wanted to be picky about it.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah. This is a catchphrase I came up with right now on the spot. It's important that the rest of the episode, we keep it 100 today. Okay, Kate?
Okay.
No one's ever heard that before. Keep it 100. Copyright Kurt Money. Today.
Hit the theme.
Attention shoppers. We've got to clean up on Aisle H.
What the other wolves think?
A true crime cleanup on Aisle H.
Diabolical.
Starting now.
No, he's telling you that she's bats.
Howdy, Holtheads. Kurt Money here, alongside my co-host,
Caitlin.
on a brand new episode of True Crime Cleanup on Aisle H. And this week, we're cleaning up a little show called The Curious Case Of. If you're familiar with us, we have strong opinions about The Curious Case Of and the host of it. Mm-hmm. The episode is called The Curious Case Of The Funeral Home of Horrors. It's kind of a mouthy title. So before I get your thoughts on the app, Kate, what'd you think of this episode? Do you remember when we originally peeped it?
Wait, you just said before I get your thoughts on the app. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, I know. I'm going to read the IMDb description, but before that, Kate, what'd you think of this episode?
It's shocking.
Shocking. I mean, come on, hit us. My alternate title for this show is The Curious Case of Beth Karras Wants to Be Famous.
Okay.
That's what I think this is all about, and it really clouds my judgment this whole episode because my eyes are zoop on Beth Karras because I'm like, do something stupid, lady. I want to make fun of it real
I know.
bad.
It's insane to me. She uses a teleprompter.
Oh, yeah.
It's all rehearsed. There's nothing candid and off the cuff. And our friends over at Dateline, they do that in VO, so it feels natural. And then they will speak in interviews very candidly. But this just sounds so robotic. And she's got much makeup on. And her shirt was like really unbuttoned, really low. Did you notice that?
You're showing too much.
She was showing a lot of skin. I was like, Beth wants to be famous. She does.
She wants to be out there.
And on top of that, we've mentioned this before, her voice.
Kermity. There's something about it.
It's so Kermity. It's just agony.
Yeah.
Green burial is a growing market in America. In a recent study, 60% of people under the age of 40 say that this is something they would consider.
But the case is pretty curious.
It is. It's a fascinating case. And I remember we did one of these for the Patreon earlier in the year about Phoenix Mary, the lady who died twice and stuff. And I remember watching the rest of these, and I remember going, that funeral home one is going on a list because it's pretty good info. Now, do I think this was a good episode of True Crime TV? I do not. And I've got some stuff to back it up. I don't think there's one single special thing about The Curious Case Of as a show.
No.
I don't think it brings anything new to the table at all. But this is definitely a fascinating case. So here is the IMDb description. Originally aired February 3rd, 2025. Funeral homeowners promised green burials but abandoned decomposing bodies and gave fake ashes to families. They fled when investigated. Not too flowery, down to the point. I'd say that's what this is about.
That's exactly what happened. And we don't want our listeners to be confused. This is not the funeral home docuseries on HBO. It was, I don't know, only like a month ago? 2 months ago?
A little older than that, but yeah, I mean, we'll be discussing The Mortician in this episode, absolutely. I was thinking a lot about that doc, too. Because there was an HBO one, but did come out fairly recently around the time that this did. I mean, this was February. Mortician might have been last December or something. But what? Mm-mm. Let's go to the gig.
Mortician was still dropping new eps, like in April.
The Mortician?
Or June.
Yeah, first ep, June 1st. Mm-hmm. You're right. Boy, God, so I guess maybe means we got to look at this one as the first. This piece of shit, right? So in honor of our 100 episodes, I was like, okay, I got to find a case where there's like 100 bodies or something. And then I thought, that's kind of inappropriate. But then I found a loophole where there are people, when we're talking about people that are already dead and stuff, it's not as grotesque.
They were not murdered.
So, this is very interesting for our 100th episode. We don't have a murder in sight, do we?
No.
Well, we're going to find out, but there were 189 bodies that this happened to. Pretty wild. And you know what? I've got overall thoughts I feel like somewhere in here, in the plot of The Mortician, somewhere there's a legal and not gross way to make a hell of a lot of money cremating bodies. So let's kick that to the end, Kate. I feel like there's a legal way to pull this off where everybody wins.
Absolutely.
And I'm shocked at the lengths people go to in illegal stuff to just not do that.
I know.
Like,
It's wild. That's exactly what my husband and I were saying watching this.
yeah.
That it's so much easier to do it the legit way and make a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the downfall of the 2 funeral home scams I know of is that they had too many bodies that they could handle. They had too many stiffs. Well, there's other ways, but I said we dive into this, and you just know it takes place in the state of Colorado.
You know it.
You know it. That's another special 100th episode. I feel like it was good that it's in Colorado because we've been here a bunch, Kate.
And then we learned something at the end about the state of Colorado.
From a person who works in the field in Colorado.
Yeah.
I loved that. When she said that, I was like, uh-oh. Okay. Our story begins in spring of 2023. However, okay, so this is about a green funeral home that got in a lot of trouble, didn't know what to do with bodies. Decomp happens. You know glop's coming up. But what I love about this show is they don't open on that. They open on a green burial company in Colorado that's doing it legally.
Yes.
They were like, look, you're not all monsters.
Yeah, this idea of a green funeral service is, I think, great. It's the bodies are not embalmed. They are not treated. They're buried naturally, immediately, like within a day or two. And this green burial preserve is just a giant acres and acres of land, and the bodies are buried just under the soil, not even in a coffin, and you can see the nutrients that plants get from the decomposing body, and it's giving the lives back to the earth.
Yeah, and now when we first talked to this lady on her golf cart, and she's talking about like bugs she likes.
The insects are my favorite thing out here, you guys. I mean, the grasshoppers, whatever. But the wasps and ants, woo! I find them fascinating.
I'm like, okay, where are they just buried out there? I'm not seeing markers. But at one point we do see a marker of like a makeshift headstone with plants growing and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's what it looks like. But okay, minus the not embalming the bodies. Am I wrong? Or is any time a body buried, it doesn't matter if it's in the most expensive coffin of all time, eventually becomes one with the earth again? I mean, isn't this what happens with all buried bodies, Kate?
Not if it's in a coffin.
They don't, but we've seen coffins exhumed.
Yeah.
Like, got in those boxes, I'm saying.
Well, but a body will decompose naturally. It just won't. I don't think so. No. It maybe if it's in a wooden box, but if it's in a proper casket, I don't think so.
Anytime I've seen an open casket from the ground, some dirt got in there, is my point. So I think like the biggest difference here between an expensive, nice burial and a green one is just a wooden box, so it's a little bit easier for the earth to get in there. But I don't know. You seem to have confidence in the funeral business. I think it's all a scam coffin wise. Anytime you're put in the ground, I just think you're getting back to the earth there.
Right, but I think the key here is they don't embalm them. The bodies decompose instantly.
Right. Okay.
We use the term natural burial to talk about a final interment where everything is biodegradable. There's no embalming chemicals, nothing that's going to stop the body from returning to the soil in the most natural way.
So, yeah, we're talking to this lady, and we don't know why, really. I mean, it is in Colorado, and she does come into it later. So now that we planted that seeds, now enter the star of the show, Beth Karas. She enters what must be the lobby of her office or something. This set design they're doing here. She's coming in the door. She's sitting down, and she says, This is a story
of loss, laughter, and deceit.
Where's the laughter, Beth? The fact that the dude did stand up? Like, what's she talking about?
God, yeah. Just
What's she
awful
talking about?
VO. Although it's not VO. Awful.
Yeah.
What is it called?
I don't know, hosting, talking to the camera. I don't know.
It's so crazy. I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah.
It feels so unnatural.
Yeah. And this is their smooth transition into the funeral home we're going to be talking about, Return to Nature Funeral Home. And one, I wouldn't have trusted these fools based on their signs. I thought their signs were weak AF. What do you think? Design-wise, Kate, I wasn't into it. I was like, no way am I putting a loved one at this place.
Well, also, we see some of their promotional videos, and I think that would have been it for me. I would have
Yeah.
said nope.
Yeah.
I don't know that funeral homes need promotional videos where the owners talk about their personal lives in the video.
I'm Carrie Halford. I'm a co-owner of this funeral home, and I'm actually not a funeral director by trade.
Yeah, I mean, it was on their website, so I guess it's like they can show what they want. But that was kind of funny, right? Like we were learning about this power couple in their promotional vids.
And that she has dated many morticians or whatever.
Yeah. Now, that's funny. That's one of my larger notes about John Halford as a person. This power couple, we got John and Carrie Halford. All right. They've got a kid. We don't see the kids, but they do have kids, we're told. But they're running this return to nature funeral home. And what they promise is like, your body's one with the earth and all this stuff. And if we get back to nature and it's great and it's green and everybody loves it.
Because we genuinely believe we can do a better job of serving the public here than anybody else in town. And I still firmly believe that.
And that's the premise. And then we were introduced to a few of the victims. And by victims, I mean the victims are the family members of the deceased. Mm-hmm. And we meet a few of those parents of young victims, too. There were a few things I thought they left out in this doc. One thing that they left out was the cause of death for all these young kids. I was kind of like, yeah, let's leave that.
I think we know, though.
Suey?
No, I would assume it's heroin, meth related.
Oh, you think drugs?
Opioids. Yeah, it's rural Colorado.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I get they didn't want to dwell on it because no matter whatever that answer is, that's going to be hell of a bummer, and that's not going to be what we're talking about.
All of these victims are young.
Yeah. Okay. All the moms had a good personality. We have Hot Tub Mom, who they shot at her house, and they were like, "Oh, you have a hot tub. Okay, get in your onesie, lady. We got the setup for you." Would you? I don't know if I'd pose for that B-roll. Would you, Kate? If they're like, "Hey, hop in the hot tub and look super chill."
No.
No way.
I don't know that I would ever have a hot tub, though.
Oh, because they're like gross and stuff?
Yes.
That seems like something Caitlin would be disgusted by. Look, I don't want the upkeep, but I love a tub, baby. I love a hot tub.
Just a pool. I don't need no tub.
I don't disagree that it's gross and the filth and the bacteria, but I'm just kind of like, if I'm in a suit and there's a hot tub there, I'm like, okay, bacteria, let's do this. I'm only going to be in here about 20 minutes, you know?
Have we ever been in a hot tub together, Kurt?
If there was one at the Palm Springs pad, possibly.
Yeah.
There was also a group shower that happened there in a completely non-sexy way. That sounds like it was like an orgy. We were all in suits. Were you in that or no?
Hell no.
So we're meeting these moms. One of the moms has like a shirt with like a Photoshop filter picture of her kid, and she's wearing ashes of her son around her neck. Mm-hmm. Now we'll come back to that later because she's one of the victims. So
what's she doing with that necklace?
Yeah.
This is the cremated remains of my son.
So we hear the stories of how they found the home, and it was cool stuff. Like one of the moms planted trees with her son once, and like, was it through Return to Nature that they got the tree dedicated in his name, or was it a different service?
I would guess it was a different one because it sounds like Return to Nature did the least.
Yeah, that's a good cue. Like, something tells me if they're not going through the trouble of burning bodies that they know are being burned, they're not going to plant a tree and go like this. Let's put a plaque up that says like in honor of so and so's son. But we're meeting them, and the one that was so sweet. The mom was like, she traveled from coast to coast so her son could see the sunrise and set.
Yeah.
That's tugging at the heartstrings.
She said she went from Maine to Seattle.
Yeah, that's sweet. I mean,
but she said it still felt like something wasn't quite finished. She had this nagging feeling that she still hadn't really put him to rest.
Right. Like she didn't have closure on it yet. Now, she's insinuating because there's a scandal around the corner, right? Mm-hmm. The saddest thing here is these are just people who lost loved ones and are struggling with it. And these are ways that they found to deal with it. It was like, nah, we got some shysters here. They're going to take a little bit of money from you. Mm-hmm. They only made $130,000 over this whole thing. I've got issues with this scam in so many ways. I'm just like, what?
They're really bad at scamming.
They're really bad at scamming. And we're seeing these videos of them. There's a lot of stuff of them like, vamping with each other and being quote unquote cute. Mm-hmm. Some couples get caskets together, not us. I need my space.
We've already discussed it. We're going to have 2 separate caskets. There's couples who will be buried in the oversized caskets together.
I need my space.
It's so inappropriate. It's so inappropriate considering their line of work. I can't imagine looking at those videos and thinking, yeah, this is where I want to go.
Also, what's weird is this Return to Nature, they have 2 facilities. So they were successful enough to say, let's open up another one? I feel like they were overwhelmed from the jump, I feel. So how did they get to 2 places?
I have no idea. None of this makes sense.
No. And the way that it finally happens, and this is fresh too, I mean, this all went down in the last 2 years, is October 3rd, 2023. A reporter hears word that the cops are about to serve a warrant to a Green Burial funeral home. And the reason why is because neighbors are complaining about the smell.
And we see how far back the road is where these neighbors were walking past. And to smell it from that far away inside a building,
You're right.
it must have been insane.
Because they trust me, they've got plenty of photos of the outside of the place.
And it's a big property.
Yeah. Now, I think they showed us all the alternate angles because they were really lacking for photos inside the place. But maybe that's a Kurt Money thing. I wanted one pic of the
Kurt.
terror in there.
They would have to
Come
blur
on.
the whole thing.
Fine, do it. Blur the whole thing. There's got to be pictures. Okay, so anyway,
Oh, there are pictures.
there's one picture of 2 bodies not in the cooler. That's it. That was, sorry, Kate, I'm a stickler about this. And this, I want to see how crazy scary it was in there. You don't want to see that?
No, I do. I just know that they're not going to put that on their show.
Okay. I mean, even with my permission that they can blur as much as they want, you still say...
With your permission.
Yeah. Let's get K-Mon on the horn. What level of blur here? 35?
We
40?
doing a Gaussian?
Don't you go above 45.
What kind of blur?
Yeah. So the cops get this warrant, and there's there's crowds gathering, and the cops go in there, and they said as soon as they opened that door...
The front door.
The smell... The front door to this place. Yeah, that's a good point. This isn't like the back door entrance or whatever. This is like, there's at least a waiting room and a lobby between them and where these bodies are supposedly. As soon as they open this door, just this smell of death hits them like a wall, and flies are coming out.
It's insane.
It's just one of those memories that I'll always carry from this story, which is standing there and having flies buzzing around everywhere, and the smell coming from the building was unmistakable.
The guy goes on to describe what it was like walking in there. And this is where I'm going, at least let me see the shin deep glop. Because they said they walk in there, and up to their shins was a brown sludge that was like dead body juice and stuff.
They had to wear hazmat suits.
Because it was they said it was deemed a biohazard. It was like, no, you legally have to wear a hazmat suit in here.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Gross. I'm not trying to rain on the parade of this episode. I don't think it was shin deep. I think that's why we didn't get a pick. Because if something's shin deep, that means when you open the door, it's spilling out. Don't you agree with me?
Yeah, maybe. And then when we find out how many bodies they find, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
The initial count is 115 because they walk in there and there are just stacks and stacks of dead bodies in this funeral home. And it's funny because the first complaint was by that nice burial ground lady from the beginning who liked bugs.
The wasps and ants. Woo.
She was like, I pretended to want to store stuff. And I was like, hey, I'll do your lawn for free because that's how bad it looked.
They clearly stacked these bodies and then left and just closed the door behind them.
Yeah, I guess what we'll learn is, okay, well, yeah, they stacked them, but it was a gradual thing, right? It's just they were always behind the 8 ball when it came to being like leveled up on, have we cremated the bodies that we were paid for? And that number just kept getting further and further away from meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so... And they also said that, like, when people complained about the smell, they would say that there's a sign there that said taxidermy, that was the reasoning. I feel like there's some taxidermists out there going, excuse me?
Excuse me,
Right.
This house cat does not smell like decomp from a football field away.
There was a sign on one of the fences attached to the building that does say taxidermy practiced here.
Yeah, don't bring us into this, okay? We've already got a reputation all our own. Okay, Psycho screwed the taxidermy crowd, okay? It screwed us. So just leave us out of it.
I don't really know anything about birds. My hobby is stuffing things. You know, taxidermy.
I like the reporter guy is like, and when I walked there, like even the reporters could smell it from like the caution tape. And he goes, not that I know what a dead body smells like, but I think it was pretty close. I got news for you, dude. Now you do know what a dead body smells like.
You will never forget.
This is no longer a mystery, my man. You're smelling 115, soon to be 189 dead bodies sitting on top of each other. Oh my God. So they have a press conference and they're like, we're investigating this. And yes, the couple who owns it, John and Carrie Halford, they are cooperating. This is what they say at the press conference a few days later. Okay. And in the meantime, after this, what they're cooperating, quote unquote. The cops are reaching out to families once they discover, hey, turns out your kid wasn't really cremated.
Because we found his body.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked to one of the moms where it's like, this is starting to hit the news. And the one mom is like, well, that's the funeral home I took my son to, but that was 4 years ago. I mean, surely this wasn't.
That was 4 years ago. I should call anyone I know who's used this in the past couple months because it might affect them. But it won't be me because it was 4 years ago.
So I guess one of those mom's kids was one of the bodies stacked up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was notified on October 24th that my son had been identified as one of the victims.
So what they're gathering, though, it looks like, is that John, who was like a handyman, self-described handyman, he had designed these like cooler systems to put in there to cool these bodies. Because the thing is like they talk about how like when you get a dead body, there are things you have to do within 24 to 48 hours or it's decomp time. Mm-hmm. And so they were just taking in more bodies than they could cremate. So that's why they started to stack them. And then the one cooler that they had, which wasn't a cooler, that broke. And so that's why he started taking them out of the cooler to like stack them.
It was just a metal room with an air conditioner in the wall. It didn't have any kind of cooling refrigeration system.
With a friggin' window AC unit. That's what was not. They had this Colorado mortician that they have on. She's like, they built the shell of coolers, of refrigeration systems, but there were no compressors, there were no this or that. And which is funny because later what John will tell people is that the compressors broke. And that's why he had to start doing that. He never had them. He just put that tin stuff up on the walls and was like, here's my cooler.
Yeah. Never existed.
They didn't have the compressor. They didn't have all the mechanisms to be a cooler. It was just the shell of the cooler. And those shells of the cooler were filled with bodies.
So we're finding out that their cremated remains were almost definitely not their person's body. That's like kind of a guarantee. But in some cases, some family members are giving ground up concrete. Mm-hmm. And so one of the moms is like, I took a little bit of my daughter's ashes, put it in a jar, added water, and it solidified. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm. And imagine those people spreading those ashes, and they're just spreading concrete.
Yeah.
I just left the jar sitting, and it solidified like cement does.
Yeah, or still wearing it around their neck. Because this one mom is here. I mean, she's at the courthouse yelling at the guy. She's here on the dock, pissed as hell. She's still walking around with that necklace on. And I kind of get it, though. Because what if a speck of it is her son?
It's not, but I get the symbolism.
I'm with you. It's almost guaranteed it's not. But I just don't know if I could actually take this off and go, well, this is the last. I'm not going to have a piece of my son anymore.
Well, but wasn't her son one of the bodies they found?
Well, that's what she said. But, I mean, she opens up the thing and says, my son is in here. She's talking about her necklace.
Right, but I think the film crew told her to pretend like this is before revealing what happened.
You think so?
Yeah, because then it's definitely not her son because they found her son.
I know. I think she still wears it, is my opinion.
No,
I mean,
I
maybe
think
they
so
did
too, but I think it's symbolic.
Yeah, okay.
Because it sounds like if he was in there for 4 years, there's nothing to cremate at this point. So she's never going to get those ashes.
So they find the total number. It's 189, but they don't really know for sure, right? I mean, these are just the people they can track down. It could be more.
Yeah, if it's just kind of a liquefied soup, it's hard to tell.
Yeah. And, they even say in there, like, when you're cremated, there's no DNA, and I think that's pretty true. Also, what's crazy is, so the one mom discovers her kid is probably concrete because it's solidified. And then the one mom with the two sons, they take his bag out. And they're like, so we're looking through that bag to see if it's really bodies. They're finding nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
We have found metal discs, and I don't know what they are. What I do know for certain is that my son had no medical devices inside of his body.
Wowee. So they're looking into the background of John and Carrie Halford, and John's got a checkered past. This was the part where I had the most questions and follow-ups, because, like, he had graduated from some sort of mortician school in 2010, but in 2006 he was trying to run for office in Oklahoma. This was where I had to pause and go back and go, like, you're not going to tell us anything more about this. Do you know what I'm talking about? The sleepover attack?
Yes. So the reason why he didn't win his congressional run is because he was caught randomly torturing a group of girls. He and some buddies thought it would be funny to break into this house where their friends were having a sleepover and hold AK-47s to their heads and do what? I don't know.
And they said it was a prank and a joke.
And him and another gentleman decided to put ski masks on and break in and hold an AK-47 to their heads as a joke.
Now, I wanted to listen to the verbiage of what they said, because I'm going, okay, was it a niece? Was it his own daughter's sleepover? Who are these women to them? They do not say. They say ladies had a sleepover. So maybe it was adult women?
I got the impression it was adult women, yeah.
But they don't say any of this. And I like, it's not funny at all. And it's very scary that they thought it was, right?
Yes.
I just like, what a wild thing to say and not have any follow-up info. Like, so how'd the joke end? I want to know who the people were. I mean, thank God it happened and now he didn't get office or whatever. But
yeah, I mean,
just an insane thing.
It sounds like it didn't go over very well because somebody pressed charges.
So they must have known him. And they probably saw or heard his dumb laugh. So after that, he gets with his girl, Carrie, who, here's my thing with their relationship. She's guilty as well. Mm-hmm. And like one of the moms is saying, she's signing the check. She's involved. I agree. I don't think she would do this if John wasn't involved.
Yeah.
She's obviously guilty of something, but I feel like John's the monster and she's just kind of a pushover going with it a little bit.
I got Russian Bride vibes from her.
Yeah. I can see that. I have two examples of this. Anytime he was quote unquote joking with his wife, they were all at the expense of insulting her or like obviously based on his insecurities.
Yep.
All the time. And I just was like, dude, this is so transparent, bro. I feel bad for this lady because she says, and then I don't have a license. I just married into the funeral business. And he goes, oh, well, you dated a few guys in the business before me.
In their promotional video.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Just coincidentally married somebody in the business. So.
And you've dated people in the business before that too.
No.
Don't leave them out of this.
So now he's painting her as like some sort of like mortician groupie or something.
Right.
And later he's like on the phone going, my wife just said she got all dressed up so she could look pretty for this other man.
And she's like,
I just said it.
I didn't say that. I just did my hair.
Yeah. And he goes, exactly. I'm like, dude, these aren't funny.
No.
Anyway, that's what all the bits were with him. But yeah, I mean, she's guilty in this too. She's definitely in it. Tell me you liked it when they were talking about what they spent the money on, and they're like $1,500 at a dinner in Vegas, and I felt it coming. What they call them, cosmetic surgery. There was a picture of her with her boobs on display.
I mean, $1,500 for a dinner in Vegas. That's not out of the ordinary if you're going to Vegas.
Ooh, says Caitlin, the big spender.
No, I mean, I've never spent that much on a meal, but to me, that wasn't like...
It happens?
Wow, they're balling out. Because then you learn they only got $150K. So yeah, that's about a trip to Vegas and a breast augmentation right there.
They had a $1,500 steak dinner in Vegas. They had cosmetic surgery.
And so while they're digging on him, they also find out that he calls himself... He's also a comedian. And when this stuff gets dropped in these shows, Kate, I'm like both cringe... on the edge of my seat, but I'm also like, here come the lulls. Because it's going to be god-awful. And boy, does the show have a lot of fun poking fun at his stand-up.
I'm glad they showed it.
They did. And he had a whole bit. He's like, I had a PSS this morning. It's a post-shower shit. And look, premise-wise, I think we can all relate. It sucks when you got to take a shit after a shower because you're not completely dry.
Yeah.
He was just approaching this bit from the wrong angle, and it was not funny and stuff.
No.
Started the day with a PSS. Post-shower. A post-shower is like when you're in the shower, you're still wet, and you can never get the right amount of dry.
Even Beth Karras gets in on it. It's so stupid. She's like, he's over 40, he has a kid, and he wants to be a comedian. And I wrote this down. She's got 2 or 3 just knock him out of the park scripted lines.
I think it's fair to say his priorities are messed up.
Really?
Okay, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
I don't think there's anything wrong with someone being in their 40s and trying to do stand-up. I think it's wrong that he's bad at it.
Yeah. She's just looking for a way to attack him with words and stuff, and that's an easy target, and I say, right on. But we also saw I sent this to you, and you said save it for the pod, is they had a podcast together.
Of course, because...
I don't know if it's still running.
Everyone has one.
Yeah, yes, they do. And what was theirs called?
His and Hers.
His and Hers podcast. Now, look, for a podcast starring a married couple that works in the mortician game, guess what? A+ title. However, this friggin' logo that they did is awful.
It's very bad.
The his and is in a different font and alone on top of a car, and then it says hearse in the middle of the car. Podcast below. I mean, it is just, it's painful to look at design-wise, I would argue.
Do they even own and operate a hearse? They don't do like funeral services. They just take care of bodies.
You're right. I mean, they probably didn't, because we're finding out they just don't have the material to do this job. So I would not be surprised, Kate, if they do not have a friggin' hearse.
I don't think they do.
And they've got like a sprint van or whatever.
Because they don't hold actual funeral ceremonies in their facilities.
No, they did. They did, because he would give them. Remember, one of the moms was like, and John gave the speech.
We planned a small memorial service. John is the one that spoke at the service. It was very nice the way he had put things together.
But I got the impression that that was out at some kind of burial or something, because we never saw a photo of the room where that would happen. And then obviously bodies were stacked in it, so they couldn't do it.
I think it was in there. I mean, because look, when they shot the video of the walkthrough for their website, I mean, there weren't bodies laying around then. I think at one point they were doing that stuff.
Gross. And he thinks he is so good looking.
Oh, so what'd you think? Was he a stud, Kate?
No.
No. And would you be shocked to find out that he was not faithful to his wife? That he had a mistress that we interview? Would you be shocked to find that out?
I was not shocked at all.
No, and she's pulling a Kate line. She's got the Kate line get up. Secrecy!
I don't blame her. She doesn't want anyone to know that she ever had anything to do with that loser.
And it's kind of framed like she's scared of him and like she was feared for her life.
No.
I mean, good. I would be embarrassed that I slept with this guy too. But I think it would also be that what they hit it off on was he would come over and they'd talk about energies and frequencies and their vibrations. About how similar they were. Oh, God. Come on!
This is messed up because she was a customer. They met because she was burying a loved one.
Her dad.
And he immediately, like that day, starts texting her like, I can't stop thinking about you.
Yeah.
That's...
And we see the text. And he's like, I thought of you December 10th, 11th, 12th. You were on my mind.
I thought that was so weird to list the dates.
I know. And then he's throwing a boom out there. It's like, don't you disgrace the boom.
Don't you boom. Don't you dare.
You're not allowed to boom, okay? I didn't like seeing that.
We just talked about energy and like frequencies and vibrations, and because of the magnetism.
Okay, but tell me you're rolling your eyes at this energies and frequencies stuff. I mean, do you have a second of the day for any of that talk? Please.
No, I can't even handle astrology.
I was going to say, it's right. I mean, it's neck and neck. I can't do astrology either. And this is even worse, I think, this talk. So you don't believe in the healing power of crystals? Weird.
I do not.
I don't either. Okay, cool.
I don't believe in anything.
No, me neither. Yeah, what do I believe in? The power of movies. That's what I believe in.
The reliability of Taco Bell.
There you go. All right. Now we got a list going. Taco Bell, movies.
Good, honey.
So she's in shadow and we're talking to her. This is where we learn the specifics where sometimes he'd be stressed out because the compressor was broke. And that's when he had to stack bodies. That's the picture we see, is because he had texted her a picture of 2 bodies in the lobby because he said the compressor broke. And they would say stuff like, hey, I've got people juice in my mouth. Can you get me a Whopper at the drive-in?
Awful.
Yeah.
People juice.
Yeah. And the reason why they could do this, it all happens to be on the shoulders of Colorado because it's like the only state where you don't need like a degree to bury people.
So this is when we hear that snippet from the woman who works for the state as a mortician.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is the only state in the whole country where you don't have to have any kind of certification whatsoever. You can just say, I'm going to be a mortician.
Yeah.
And she said, if people in other states like fail their testing or lose their license for any reason, you just move to Colorado. It's like a known thing in their industry. Just move to Colorado.
Yeah.
So Colorado is the laughingstock in the industry for professional funeral directors and embalmers, because of the lack of education and licensing.
I feel like her bosses at the Colorado office called her up and were like, come on, really? Like,
I mean, they're legit. She's certified.
Yeah, you're right.
She's working for the state. I feel like that's different.
And I think in the text after the episode, they do say that Colorado started
because
the process.
Of this.
I think you might need to now.
Because of this case, now they changed their entire regulation system.
Yeah. So this is happening over the course of a year. And then November of 2024, They find him. They were on the run doing like DoorDash while they were staying at motels and stuff. Now, the B-roll they had for this was them both delivering the food to the door. No. John's driving. She's running the food up. I guarantee it. They're not delivering the food together. There's no way.
Where are their kids?
Great question. Maybe the kids were delivering the food. They were in the car. That's what they were doing. I will say this about the B-roll. The one they got to play Carrie looked like her, I thought.
Yeah.
For how little you have to look like the person you're portraying in these shows. Like we've talked about it. You don't have to look like them at all. And the fact that she did just a little bit,
yeah.
I was like, okay. All right, so when this episode aired, they were taking a plea deal, and they could be sentenced up to 20 years. Now, I've since discovered that he, for half the crimes, was sentenced in June, and he got 20 years. It was only supposed to be 15 for this half of it, but the judge was like, no, we're giving you the full 20.
No, you're a piece of shit. It's 20.
And he still has to go to trial for, like, desecration of corpses and stuff.
So he'll get longer than
hers
20.
What's that?
He could potentially get more than 20 for that other trial.
Yeah, unless it's like serve them concurrently, whatever that bullshit math is, where it's like, well, you have 100 years, but they're on 10 different sentences, so you'll be out in 8 months. So they're locked up. Beth Karras is like, all right, we got to go out on winter. And she's thinking about how great FF is in episodes. And you go out on a zing, and then you just walk out of there with your head held high. Here's hers. John and Carrie Halford may have buried some bodies.
But I'll tell you, they've definitely buried the truth.
Okay.
What do you think, Kate? Is that a mic drop? Cut to credits?
That is some lazy writing.
She's always got these in here. God, she's so annoying. All right, we are on to those lists, right? Wait, I want to discuss the answer to this scam and others. Should we do that after the lists?
No, let's do it now.
Okay, like we were saying, it's hard not to think of the Mortician show while watching this. It's the same scam where somebody was like, oh, people will pay you to cremate a body and not ask questions. Like, this seems like a good business to get into. Now, in their case, in the Mortician, the guy had like 4 kilns or whatever, and you could only do like 4 bodies every 8 hours or something. Like, that's just how long it takes. Mm-hmm. And so he would start doing them 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 8 at a time. Same case here, where the Halfords have this scam where it's like, oh, we have green burial. Oh, that awful embalming stuff. We hate it. Mostly because it costs money and we don't want to have to buy it. But we're going to pretend it's for the environment, right? Mm-hmm. So they were like, oh, we'll take your bodies. Yeah, we'll bury them nice and green. And because they also didn't have a, what's a crematory, like what's the furnace called? A furnace?
Yeah, furnace. They didn't have one.
They didn't have any, they would have to send it out to another third party to even do that part of it. So I get why this failed so miserably. But here's what I want to say. If you've got investors, I know the initial costs of this are going to be up there. Why doesn't someone make a building with like 20 crematory furnaces? And then you can cremate faster and make hella money. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. They were very bad with their scamming because it was more work to do the scam than it would have been to just do it honestly. And they could have made lots of money. I mean, they had 189 bodies in there, 187 bodies. They had customers. If they had done this for real, they would have made a living.
Yeah, and so is there still a market for that? Or has a smarter person watched this like us and gone, wait, you could do this, you just got to keep up with it? It's got to be something to do with the gray area of laws per state of how to dispose of bodies and stuff. I don't understand how, like, can you not have 20 going because of the pollution it causes? Like, are there other reasons?
Maybe. Well, I think maybe the place where they would have had to send the bodies out to was probably a bigger facility like that.
Well, I mean, it was a place with a crematory. I mean, they didn't even have one like the Mortician guy did. So, like, is that so cost prohibitive to start with a crematory? I don't know. Like,
and is it cost prohibitive to send the bodies to this other third party? It sounds like a lot of places do that. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. And they just couldn't do it fast enough. God damn, we just need to be able to get rid of these bodies faster. That's the ticket. And he was looking into water disposal. And I'm like, what, he's going to Breaking Bad this? He's going to like get sulfuric acid and put it in a tub or something? I mean, that's basically, he was, like, we saw a picture of some sort of water setup. It looked like a home brewery, but it was how to liquefy yourself or something.
Yeah.
John had texted his mistress that he was working on a water cremation device. A water cremation is a green process of basically dissolving the body instead of burning it with extreme heat.
Boy, I would never want to be out there burying, because they were like, did they bury bodies? But there's a weird part I hate. It's awkward as hell. We see it a few times in the ep of the moms running after the guy after court and yelling at him. And these moments are always awkward as hell because you can only use a second or two, but they're doing this for like 10 minutes and they just got to keep screaming stuff at him.
I hope you remember rats eating my son's face in your refrigeration system.
And I'm always very critical of the stuff they yell because she's like, where's my son, John? What do we have to do? Start digging up graves with spoons? Why is she bringing spoons into this, you think?
Why spoons?
Shovels abound. There's not a shortage of shovels.
No.
You can dig normal if you want.
Do we have to start digging up grave sites with spoons?
But yeah, I felt bad for them. So basically, point is, Kate, do you want to transition to being a crematory? If this could be the true crime, literally the true crime cleanup on ILH, and there's a crematory down ILH, and we're doing the cleaning up literally. What do you think? You want to go into the biz?
You know, that business does not call to me.
No?
No.
All right. Well, I think it's time for those lists.
Kate's unnamed list. Well, I don't really have anything, but I would like VIB Kate to make an appearance for a second.
Ooh, bring her in. Okay.
During that B-roll of the sleepover,
Yeah.
those ladies are holding the Hourglass ambient light palette.
What's that?
It's a face palette for makeup.
Okay. VIB, great eye.
Mm-hmm.
Great eye. Now, you're going to give me some pushback on what I'm about to tell you, and I'm going to hold strong. You missed something here, Kate. Think hard.
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't.
You missed puzzle. The title sequence is literally a jigsaw puzzle pieces coming together.
Kurt, that's a stretch.
That's not a f***ing stretch. That's literally the inspiration for the title sequence. They're referencing the cliche of it's a puzzle you're putting together.
But that's the title sequence for every episode of this show.
Well, that means every time we talk about Curious Case of, I think it makes the puzzle list.
Okay.
I knew you wouldn't be on board, and I think it's insane, Kate. And you know what? You know what's happened before. You better hold tight onto that puzzle thing, Kate. I might try and snatch it away from you.
Okay, Kurt.
All right, on to me.
What do you got?
On to Kurt's Kick-Ass List.
Kick-Ass List.
So I got two hilarious BYBs. This would have been primo territory for It's Like a Movie. And our reporter guy almost said it when he called it like a horror story or something like that. It was this close.
Sheriffs opened that front door and were presented with, something you couldn't even dream of.
Wait, did you like him? This story happened in 2023. Did you see the size of his Bluetooth earpiece? I mean, it was mammoth. I was like, did this story happen in like 2007? No. 2 years ago. It's like, honk.
Wow.
Dude, this poor guy. Anyways, that was funny. The one mom with the shirt with her kid on it in the back. Oh, I'm going to send you a pic, Kate.
Okay.
What's wrong with this picture?
What's wrong with this picture? I don't know.
Look at the placement of that little like display corner case thing by the door. You seen it? It's like an end table design. It's like a little thing with like two little vases on it in front of the door. You see that?
Yeah, it's blocking the door.
Exactly. Now that was clearly look, it might be slid more towards the hallway opening there. That might be where it lives permanently. But this, to me, I spotted instantly and go, oh, this is somebody on set going, let's spruce up this background. You can't open that door.
That looks bad.
You literally could not open that door 8 inches until it hit something. That's not where that goes. B-roll. Ya busted. I like that one. And then also, so this is all stuff happened in the last few years. So like the headlines they're talking about are all from like online articles. And oh my God, I got a real problem with how they present headlines on this. Because they just printed out an online article and then did a zoom in on the headlines like they were real paper. Look at this shit, Kate. Doesn't this look awful?
That's really bad.
Like what?
Someone folded it up and put it in their pocket, and then they were like, oh, crap, that was going to be on camera.
Yeah, or that's them going, oh, all you need to do to make it look like a newspaper is put some folding paper textures overlays. Like, that's what I do to make our movie posters look old on Instagram or whatever. If they're going to go to that trouble, is it, like, there's no way a page is designed like that. Like, look at all that dead space in there. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, there's no photos in the photo squares.
There's nothing between the headline and then, I don't know. It's just like, this is the, like, a graphics person was paid money to put this together. I want to go like, you guys should have stuck with your actors or something. Like, there is a way to look at online headlines cool. It involves getting real close up so you can see like this, like the little CRT dots or whatever of a computer screen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cool way to achieve that look in documentaries. This ain't it, y'all. Beth Karras, go back to the drawing board. B-roll, you busted. What do you think? I fucking roasted them, didn't I, Kate?
Yeah, I love it.
They're hurting right now. They're
so embarrassed.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our 100th episode. I think we kept it 100, Kate. I think, as promised, we kept it 100 up in here.
Absolutely.
Next week we're doing a show called FBI True that I can't wait to talk about as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Well, and on that note, I'm Kurt Money.
I'm Caitlin.
Digging up grave sites with spoons?